Alright, so here are my 6 top things that really annoy me about the 2019 Rav4. And before I start ranting, I'm going to say that this is my favorite car company, and this is an amazing car. But in this particular model, they've taken away some things that were very well designed in previous versions, and so I'm pretty ticked off. All right, let's start with number 1. Number 1 is how you change the radio settings on the vehicle. And so you use these buttons here to change your radio from one channel to the next. And as you can see, this button here is very small, and when you've got big fat manly fingers, it's hard to get this button, so it rarely works. This one on the left works a whole lot better. Moving on to the other side, for some strange reason Toyota decided to divide those two up. So if you want to change the volume, raise it or lower it, you got to go to the other side, which is ridiculous. Why don't you have it all on one side, which is how you had it in previous models? I don't know. Alrighty, so then we'll go to the second thing that really ticks me off about this vehicle. And it is how they set up this area here for your things. The storage area here and here is kind of ridiculous. First of all, let's go with this part here. I thought that it was really cool because I thought it's the same kind of shape as the key for the vehicle. But guess what? It's not even wide enough to fit the key in there. So you probably wouldn't want to use it for that. So what can you really put in here? A little ball? Tape measure? I don't know. Sounds kind of useless. It could have been designed a little better, a little bit larger. You know, I always go for convenience rather than just pretty designs. That's the way I like it anyway. Alright, and the next thing is when you're driving around, and let's say you're using Google Maps, and all of a sudden, because it has a weird incline and goes like this, it starts shifting around in there, and then before you know it, when you have, you know, the video will start changing direction, and then you have to pull the phone all the way out to get it to go back in the direction that you want it to be, which could be a bit of a safety hazard if you're trying to go somewhere. You just saw it. It did it again. Alright, so that would be number 2. Let's go to number 3, and it is this button here for the shifter. If you don't hit it just right on the tip of this little button right here, the shifter gets stuck and it doesn't really move the way you want it to, which is a huge pain in the neck. But you know, they used to have it on top so you could use pressure and gravity to do it, but now they have it on the bottom and I don't know why. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, and 3 done. Number 4. Number 4 is they really messed up on the size of the glove box. This right here, folks, is a A4 piece of paper, and as you can see, you can't even keep it all the way open, like you can't keep it straight and close this. It just doesn't fit, which is a pain because let's say you wanted to bring your laptop or whatever it is, which is usually a little bit wider than an A4 piece of paper. You obviously can't bend it, so you can't store it in there. Big no-no. Alright, let's go to the next one. The next thing that really ticks me off is up here, and it is the light system. It used to be set up so that you could use all of this nice area here. It was a big button. You'd press it, the light would turn on. You press it one more time, the light would turn off. Now you have to use these tiny little buttons. And as you can see, if you're driving around town, it doesn't sound like it is the best solution, right? You gotta go around aiming for those little tiny buttons. But you know, it is what it is. And now let's go to the very last thing that really ticks me off about the vehicle. And I've had to turn on the engine because it is the backup camera. Now right now, let's see if it does it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But usually what happens is you get these horrible glares in areas such as here, where you get the whitest white. And right now the sun is not shining directly on the camera, so it's not as bad. But when that does happen, it is terrible. And usually what happens is that white light will spread to about there, and then everything in this area becomes blurred out, and you can't see if any cars are coming over there. The same would be happening here as well, and here. So in all the areas where it's the brightest, there's the most light, that is where the glare would happen, and that's pretty terrible. Also, during certain times of the day when the light comes in from this angle and hits the screen, it all becomes blurry no matter how much or how high you put the setting for the intensity of the screen light, which is also another hazard, and it's something that unfortunately hasn't been fixed. I've talked to Toyota's customer service about it, but they haven't done anything about this, and it's been maybe 3 years or so that I've warned them about it, but apparently they don't seem to want to change anything about that. And I don't know if it's because Toyota doesn't have the engineers, the software engineers, to take care of this problem, or they just don't think it's enough of a hazard to do anything about. But maybe they should you know, talk to Sony or anyone who's working with those you know, companies that takes care of the software that fixes, you know, that does photo correction or whatever, to get that figured out. So there you have it. Those are my 6 downsides to the Toyota 2019 RAV4. I hope you find this useful, and if you have any comments, feel free to comment away under this video. See you in the next one.